Hey there guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be DIYing my newest sketchbook, as well as personalizing the cover and doing the first page. I'm going to get a little bit into the details of this video later on the video when I start the drawing section and the personalizing section, but for now I'm going to jump on into the DIY process of making these two sketchbooks into one single sketchbook. If you're not interested in this part, that is completely fine. This video has timestamps, so you can skip up to the part that you want to watch. It's fine. I just want this to be here in case someone ever needs this type of instruction and they can follow it or get an idea of what I did for the sketchbook. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, as you can see, this set of two sketchbooks comes in two different colors. And the way this works is that they have paper covers, and the color of the cover of one sketchbook is going to be the interior of the cover of the other sketchbook. So the blue sketchbook has pink on the inside, the pink sketchbook has blue on the outside. So having this in mind, I decided that the best approach was to cut off the pink sketchbook's cover, trying my best not to cut through the stitching of the sketchbook, being very careful not to ruin anything, so I could have just the paper to attach it to the blue sketchbook and then just Mod Podge the covers into making it a little bit bigger with the pink cover that I removed. After removing the pink cover, I then clamped the paper signature into the blue sketchbook to align everything, to have everything very perfectly done. And my first thought was, I'm going to stitch this sketchbook. I'm going to stitch the pink sketchbook to the blue sketchbook in order to attach them, and so the binding can hold the use and withstand the use of a sketchbook. Unfortunately, as you probably will be able to tell, I wasn't very successful with this, and I realized I was pulling on the binding of the pink sketchbook that was very frail due to the fact that I wasn't very successful when cutting through the pink cover. So I quickly scratched this idea off and decided to just glue the sketchbooks to one another and then find a way to attach the cover to the pink sketchbook paper. And that's exactly what I did. I separated the two signatures of paper, added some glue to the papers, and attached the signatures one on top of the other, very much aligned, and clamped them down, as well as started to pressure the paper into gluing and sticking and really trying my best to make it as smooth as possible so I can still use this paper and not feel the glue all over this piece of paper. I then proceeded to put the sketchbook aside with a ton of books on top of it to pressure it and to make it flat and let the glue really dry flat. Whilst doing this, I decided to start working on the back cover of the sketchbook. So as I said, I'm going to kind of Mod Podge it because once adding the second signature of paper onto the blue sketchbook, the back cover of the sketchbook ends up being too short. So the idea is that I'm going to cut the blue sketchbook's cover and attach the pink sketchbook cover to the blue one and overlap them, glue them very well, and then put the last sheet of paper of the pink sketchbook, glue that to the cover to then close in the gap between the original cover and the signatures of paper that obviously are not attached to one another. I marked where I was going to cut the blue cover of the sketchbook and proceeded to cut it off with an X-Acto knife. Try my best to make it as straight as possible because this is going to be the outside of my sketchbook and it's going to be very visible. I then attached the paper that I prepped earlier, marked it again with a pencil, and started to put on some glue and put on some pressure and really letting it dry as much as possible. Once the glue had dried enough for me to handle the sketchbook cover, I marked a part of the paper and added some glue to attach that to the sketchbook to cover up the gap that was very obvious between the sketchbook and the cover. This is for aesthetic reasons, but also to make the sketchbook a bit more stuck in place, so when messing around, it wouldn't move around and be super crazy. After that was dry, I started to cut up the paper and just have a little white border. Does this look aesthetically pleasing? No. But is it kind of doing its job? Sure. And I honestly don't mind it too much, so it's fine. The sketchbook ended up looking pretty well, especially with the seam, and it seems to be holding on pretty nicely. I don't know if it's gonna survive because it's holding on by a single piece of paper, but I guess we'll see, and yeah, hopefully it'll be okay. Going into the customization of the cover, I really want this sketchbook to be very simple. The idea is that this is going to be a sketchbook that I draw and sketch and do everything like in pen and pencil, nothing too big, no stress, just a very chill place where I can sketch and doodle and be very free to do all the studies I need and feel like I want to do. That means I want a simple cover. I want something very simplistic and easy, and the reality is that I love little stars and I just mix the two together and just hand drawn a few stars. They're kind of quirky, they're kind of crooked. I really like how it came out, and I have these two Posca pens and I just decided to go in and just do something with them. In order to achieve a full color, I did have to go in with a few more coats. I'm not going to bore you guys with them, but I really like how it ended up looking like. It's really cute, it's really nice, and I can't stop looking at it. I'm really happy with how the cover turned out. Now that the cover is complete, I go in and start working on the first page. So giving a little bit of introduction to what I'm going to do in the first page, and then I will talk about why the sketchbook, why the DIY, fill you guys in on everything. So as you guys know, at about the time this video is going up, the Johnny versus Amber trials are going on. I've been accompanying them a lot, and honestly, he's one of my favorite actors. I've never believed the things that were being said so many years ago about him being violent or everything. It just didn't match him. It didn't match his energy or who he was. He's always been said to be an amazing person. And this is just a really fucked up situation, and I think she deserves what's coming for her. But without getting too much into that, I just felt like I wanted to do something in his honor, in the honor of Captain Jack Sparrow. And I also want to post a picture of this piece in solidarity to him, and I don't think he's gonna see it, but if he does, I just want him to know that we are with him, that we stand by him, and that he's amazing. And yeah, and I just felt like it was appropriate. I had also been sketching around on my iPad a drawing idea, but in the end, I ended up opting for a simple sketch. And that's also what I wanted to do in the first page, because like I mentioned earlier, I want this to be a simple sketchbook. I want the first page to show you that this is what the sketchbook is going to be about. You're not going to get finished pieces in this thing. This is just practice and doodles and everything in here, just as free as I can. So yeah, that's why this is the first page. That's why I chose this subject, and yeah. So going into why I DIY'd this whole entire thing and why I went through all these shenanigans. I wanted a sketchbook that I could freely sketch and practice. I've been getting into practicing an object various times, and this is something I saw Devin L. Kurtz do a lot on Instagram, and it's something I want to get better at. And when I say object, I mean the randomest objects, because I want to start going into more detailed work, doing background work, also doing some portraits and stuff like that, but really going into background work, environment studies, and all of that. So I need to be able to draw a little bit of everything, so I want this sketchbook to portray that. I also want to do this more detailed work in digital form, so I want a traditional place where I can be free and sketch and don't have to worry about how perfect it looks. When it came to searching for a sketchbook, I found a lot of sketchbooks that kinda were okay, but the pages were really thick and they were really, really big. And this sketchbook in particular is the Canson Inspiration Sketchbooks. They're amazing. The paper is very thin. It's very nice for when you just want to sketch with pencil and pen, but they're very durable. It's not like printer paper. It doesn't pass to the other side, and you can still put light washes of ink in watercolor, and it won't ruin your paper. It won't pass to the other side. It's really a durable paper that I really like. Plus, it's a malleable sketchbook, not a hardcover, so that's something I really wanted, and it's stupid affordable. Now, I had a hard time finding these sketchbooks. I really only had one option on Amazon for an A5 sketchbook, so I don't know what's going on. I think they might be discontinued, or maybe Canson has had problems in production. I don't know what is going on, but I had a really hard time finding them. I'm glad I did, but I found two colors I didn't quite like. I ended up really liking the blue, didn't like the pink, and I wanted one single sketchbook. Each of these sketchbooks has around 60 pages, 30 sheets of paper, and I wanted something with around 120 pages, not more than that. And all the other sketchbooks I found were at least 190 pages, so I just thought, well, why not just stick them together and make them into one sketchbook and just DIY this. And I mean, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. If it falls apart, it falls apart. I'll find a way to fix it. But I really wanted just one sketchbook with more pages, with this particular paper, with being a soft cover. It just was perfect. If I could make this work, it would be the perfect sketchbook and really resolve all of my issues and all of my ideas and stresses about the sketchbook. So that's why I ended up doing this. I shared it on video because when researching, I realized there wasn't a lot of tutorials or people showing. There was videos showing, and thank God, because they really helped me figure out what I wanted to do. So I wanted to just put out another one, so if anyone finds this and wants to do something like this, they have like kind of a guide, or at least they learn through what I did, what they want to do, what they don't want to do, and all of that. Also, if you'd like me to review these sketchbooks, even though they're kind of disappearing, but if you'd like a review, let me know. I will gladly do it. I really like Canson sketchbooks, and yeah, let me know if you would be interested in any of that. Here we have the finished sketchbook. I really like how it came out. Let me know what you guys think. Like if you like this video, give a follow if you haven't followed. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye!